Hey everybody, how are you? I wanted to respond to somebody that contacted me on Instagram, direct messaged me, and was telling me about their relationship. And I want to talk to them in particular and a whole bunch of you because I know this is not a unique issue at all. So they're in the relationship with someone for quite a while, about 5 years, and the other person would not quit drinking, and it was getting worse and worse, and so they started going to Al-Anon, as they should, getting help for themselves, and then finally the relationship ended, and he went off to another relationship with someone that's drinking, of course, and is still drinking and having this relationship with someone else. And the person left behind going to Al-Anon who did the right thing by taking care of themselves is feeling like shit, right? Feeling like maybe they had something to do with it. Maybe they should have been more understanding. You know, he'd been talking about suicide and, you know, all this stuff that alcoholics and addicts really do to get our own way. I don't say that saying that alcoholics and addicts don't kill themselves. They do. But that's because of the alcoholism. That's not because of you. It's really not. And I know that when this happens, you feel heartbroken, right? You love someone. You think you have this future together. So many people I talk to, you know, they're just heartbroken. And it is heartbreaking. This disease is heartbreaking. It's so sad. But you have to understand the disease. If you understand the disease, it makes it easier to separate from it. It makes it easier to go, oh my gosh, this is what's happening. It has nothing to do with me, right? This is nothing to do with me. This person is suffering from an illness, a mental illness, an abnormal state of mind and body. And it doesn't mean I love them less, right? It means that it is what it is, and they need to get help for it. And they're the only ones that can decide they want help for it. No one else can do that for them. You can't beg someone into it. You can't plead someone into it. And that's because of the nature of the illness. If you do not understand what I'm talking about, I have done a webinar on my website. I really want you to check it out, okay? Whether you're suffering from alcoholism yourself and you don't understand why you can't stay sober, if you've been sober for a long time and you relapsed and you can't get back and you can't figure out why you can't get sober again, if you are a loved one who loves someone who is dying of this illness or who suffers from this illness, please watch this webinar. Once you watch it, you will understand, oh my gosh, I get it. This is a disease, a mental illness. This is not because someone loves me or they don't love me enough. It's not like if I could have been more understanding, it would change anything. It's like saying that, gosh, I don't know how to explain this. I do it very well in my webinar, and I kind of draw it out so you can see it, because I'm a visual person, so I need to actually see stuff. But if you love someone and they were suffering, if they got cancer, you wouldn't think that you had anything to do with it. You'd be extremely sad that they had cancer, and you'd try to help them as much as they needed help, right? You drive them to the doctors, but if they decided at some point it's stage 4 cancer, I'm not getting chemo, I'm not going to do this, I don't want to do this. A lot of people decide that they don't want to go through radiation and chemo and blah, it's not going to work, I'm going to die anyway. You would love them anyway, right? You would love them. You'd understand this is their choice. This is what they're doing. It's the same with an alcoholic. An alcoholic, if they don't want to get sober, some alcoholics just want to drink. They just want to drink. They just want to do drugs. I saw an amazing video this morning my friend from Washington sent me, and it was a little cartoon. This guy did this little cartoon. No volume at all. It had volume, but it didn't have any words. It was just this little cartoon about addiction and what addiction does to a person. And what it really does at the end of it, it was just a bone-chilling thing. If I could figure out where to find it and how to share it, I would. because it's a good example of how alcohol and drugs quit working. They eventually quit working. So if you think that your loved one has run off with someone else to drink and party, have a great time, that is short-lived. It's not going to continue for long. Eventually, their other partner is going to get sick of them. There's going to be fighting and police coming because of the domestic violence. Don't delude yourself into thinking that they have run off happy without you. They haven't. And it's sad. And hopefully they're going to want help someday. But in the meantime, it's all misery and despair for them. They're going to have to stay drunker longer to get over the feelings that they have of, oh shit, why can't I stop? My life is going down the toilet. Eventually what happens is you drink so much, you can't get drunk anymore. You can't get loaded. It's just you're sick all the time. And then you're just drinking and doing drugs to try to stay well. Do not, the only thing, you don't want to feel like sad because they're off with someone else, right, in this great relationship that you should be having with them. That's not what's happening. That's your own self-esteem and your own bullshit, which is why you need to go to Al-Anon. You need to realize this isn't about you. This is an illness, and it's probably best if you steer clear from it. It will kill you, as well as the person you love. Let the professionals deal with someone like that. If you can't stand it and it's killing you and it's making you ill, you have to seek help for yourself, and most likely, a lot of people learn to live with it. I'm not one of those people. You know, of course, I am the alcoholic. I'm the problem. But I don't think I could live with a using alcoholic addict. I just couldn't stand the no connection, you know, incapable of connection. It has nothing to do with love. This webinar, I'm telling you, will explain everything. I don't think now, I have friends that have decided to drink. I have friends that have decided to drink and that have died. And I've had to come to a spot where I go, okay, they don't want to get sober. Just because I'm sober doesn't mean everybody wants to get sober, right? And so I'm going to decide that I have a friend who wants to drink, who's going to be drunk. And then I set up boundaries around that. You know, I'm not going to talk to them when they're loaded because they don't make sense. It's a waste of time. They don't remember anything they say. I don't give money. You know, I mean, I just love people. I'll just love you right where you're at. And I've lost people. And you know what? But they wanted, that's what they wanted to do. I don't take it personally. I don't think that if I love them more, that they could have stopped. I don't think that if I would have done something more or taken them in or put up with them, it would have changed it. No. They're going to do what they're going to do. Right? So, if you're suffering from this, you're going to have to take care of your broken heart. And the best way to do that is try to help other people that are in the same spot. Now that you're going to Al-Anon, now that you're getting help other women and men that are coming in that are brokenhearted. Help them understand that this is a mental illness, right? This is not personal. It's not that you're not enough as a person, okay? You are enough. And that person who you love will find recovery if they are supposed to, if they want to. There's a lot of recovery out, okay? So they can find an answer without your help, is what I'm trying to say. I love you all. Thank you for listening. Happy Sunday. Be well.